always like new ideas and how to make the residents' lives better here. And when Dan approached me about the iPods, right away I embraced it because I'm like, wow, this is something great. I mean, I didn't have an iPod at the time, but my kids have iPods. I said, wow, I mean, I see how my kids get into it, so I'm sure the residents will get into it too. So from the beginning, I embraced it, and we did like a pilot on one unit, on the Alzheimer's unit, and I involved one of my activities coordinators who I knew would also embrace the project because I really wanted it to work. And we started with one resident, and then I think we had three residents, and all three residents were dementia residents. And the first resident that we started was a resident who had very challenging behaviors, very challenging. And this was a resident who was in the Navy, and he was very pro-military life, and you know, the era of World War II was a very important era for him. So we knew the music he liked was from that era. So we started, and you know, we spoke to Dan, and Dan did a fabulous job of providing a playlist for him. And we included all of the Navy song, the Army song. And the first time that my activities coordinator put the iPod on him, he immediately went like this. And he was quiet for a long, long time. And then she would, you know, she did it like for 10, 15 minutes. He was quiet throughout the whole time. Then she took it away and she brought it back. And every time she would bring it to him, he would like, because I guess the Army song or one of those military songs. So when she told me that, I said, this is great. We're going to do this with more residents. So that was the beginning. But what we did, I really thought out the process. I just didn't take the iPods and, you know, give them away. This was a process. This was a lot of money. It was 25 iPods, this computer. So I needed to set up a system. So my advice is that you set up a system first as to how you're going to put the iPods away at the end of the day. Who's going to be responsible? You have to empower your staff and make them responsible for the iPod. So, I believe that everybody doesn't always, one policy sometimes doesn't work for everyone. So in my department, I sort of had the policy a little open where some activities coordinators felt, listen, I want to keep my iPods on my community. I know for a fact that they're going to be safe there. I have them in the closet. They're numbered. I have a case where I keep them in. The key is by the nursing station. There won't be any problems. And of course, you have to check with the nursing staff to make sure that everybody knows that this is the process that is being used. On other communities, they felt, no, well, we really feel that the iPods should be kept downstairs. So I said, no problem. They can be kept in my office. We have a book that the iPod is signed out, and then when you bring it back, you sign in that you brought it back. It's put in the closet where it belongs, and somehow this procedure worked for us. And we started with 25, and we have 23. And I will tell you, it wasn't because of the process. One of the iPods did get lost, but we believe it was the resident that had it was one of our Alzheimer's residents, and he misplaced it somewhere, and he had it on, and we just could be down the linen chute someplace. We don't know what happened to it, but he did have it, so he lost it, and we don't know where. The other iPod, and I have to say I was very happy that one of our dialysis residents went home, and this resident, when I gave him that iPod, he says, you don't know how much you changed my life when I go and sit for 4 hours having dialysis, that I can now listen to the music that I love. So that was his routine. When he went for his dialysis 3 times a week, he made sure his iPod was charged. So he got better and he went home. And I said, you know what? Take the iPod with you. So we gave him the iPod. So I really feel that you have to have a system and make sure that the system works. And the more time you invest in writing your policy and making sure that your system works, it'll work for you. But you have to invest the time in putting that policy together and making sure that whatever system you've developed works. And, of course, get the perspective of your activity coordinators, your other staff, and make sure that it works for everyone, not just for you, but for everyone.